Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. We recently hit 5,000 subscribers and oh man, I couldn't be more excited. I really can't believe how quickly this channel is growing, and I'm really happy and supportive for everyone out there who is doing this research and who is sharing these ideas with one another. I'm just part of the machine, so to speak, just another cog in it that's hoping to open your mind and share some new ideas and concepts with you. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, today we're going to talk about something that is really fascinating to me, very interesting, and something I haven't really heard much discussion about, but I want to get into it right away. So, we're going to be talking about the Acoma Pueblo in New Mexico, and we're also going to be talking about the Enchanted Mesa, which is also right in the same area, about 2 miles away in New Mexico. Now, the Acoma Pueblo is home to the Acoma people, and they are said to have ruled over 5 million acres of land in New Mexico, and most, if not all, of this land, they say, consisted of homes basically built in the Pueblo style. Now, I'm just showing you two photographs here of what the narrative says are Pueblo Native Americans, Acoma Pueblo Native Americans. However, we're going to get into it a little bit further about their architecture and some of the things that they believed. Now, while this Acoma population covered more than 5 million acres when they were at their peak, currently the Acoma Pueblo people only occupy 270 acres. So I just found that to be devastating to hear. And I really do honestly dislike reading facts like that about history, where you find that the natives of this land basically had everything taken from them, and it's really repulsive, but it is part of history that we need to talk about. Now, they say that the town or the city of Acoma is the oldest city in the United States, and it was established and built in 1100. But this is what I want to talk about. The tale of the Acoma people and their belief says that they actually came to the area of Acoma and they built the city of Acoma after they had left the Enchanted Mesa. And the Enchanted Mesa is about 2.5 miles away from where Acoma currently sits. And basically, the people, the Acoma Pueblo people, truly believed that a landslide had hit the Enchanted Mesa, and it basically displaced all of the Acoma people, and it caused them to flee the area roughly 2 miles away, and they established another large city, and this is what became Acoma. But previously, to the best of their knowledge and to their ancient myths, they were occupying the Enchanted Mesa. Now, this Enchanted Mesa is 430 feet high and 1,250 feet long. And this was discovered by settlers, other than the Acoma Pueblo people. This was discovered by Charles Loomis when he visited the Acoma people in 1892. And he met with the Indian governor of the old town, which was known as Sky City. So Acoma previously, at least to the natives, was known as Sky City, which is something else that I found very interesting. But this settler, Charles Loomis, met with the Indian governor, and basically this governor told him the story of the Acoma people and how they believed that they came from this Enchanted Mesa. And then he pointed out the mesa to Charles Loomis, who would go on to present this information with the rest of his colleagues, and basically the word of this mesa would get spread all around the world. So eventually, 5 years later, William Libby, a professor from Princeton, looked to discredit the whole idea that people could have lived on top of this mesa. And he basically explored the mesa and denied that there was ever people that lived there. He alluded to the fact that he could find basically no evidence of people, and he really from the get-go was looking to serve this purpose with his expedition. So it was very hard for some true historians of the time to take his word that he hadn't found any relics. And this is where we get to an autodidactic, a self-taught man by the name of Frederick Webb Hodge. He basically did not trust what this other settler had said, and he decided to do his own exploration of the Enchanted Mesa. And when he explored this mesa, he not only went to the top, but he also searched the surrounding area at the bottom, and he also searched the sides of the mesa, and in the crevices and the areas that he was able to reach, he did all of the exploration that he could. And in his discoveries, he found evidence of ancient occupation basically embedded all throughout this giant rock structure. He found arrow points, he found beads and pottery, he found stone tools, and he even found the remains of what could be called ancestral homes. He found stone work that was basically monumental and nearly perfect. You know, you have these angles that are nearly flat, or these stones that were basically worked to be completely flat. And while the homes themselves were destroyed, he did believe that this was significant proof that there was a vast city on top of this Enchanted Mesa at one point. And he did believe the story of the ancient Acoma Pueblo people, that they had come from this Enchanted Mesa. So basically, I'm just going to show you a few more photographs of Acoma. These aren't going to be necessarily of the mesa, but these are going to be of the town that still exists today. And these are going to be the earliest photographs of that town of Acoma. And as you can see, all of these stone workings are said to be man-made. This passageway between the stones right here is said to be man-made, as well as the tops of these stones, how they're designed in what seems to be a very odd fashion. That's not done according to the current narrative by weather. This is done by hand by the Acoma Pueblo people. This right here is said to be an ancient retaining wall, or a defensive wall that was built by the Acoma people. And it goes on like that further and further throughout these old photographs. And I'm going to say it again, these photographs are the earliest photographs of the Acoma Pueblo people and the Enchanted Mesa. These are going to be from the late 1800s, 1898 into the early 1900s, a few photographs from 1910 and earlier. This is one of the most amazing photographs that I saw. This is not the Enchanted Mesa. This is a separate location of Acoma, where there's basically these Pueblo homes that are stretched in a perfect line. And it's just so remarkable to think that these were occupied when settlers founded this area in the 1800s. Nowadays, if you go to Acoma, you will see these ancient pueblos and you'll see these beautiful constructions, and they are all heritage sites. You know, they're all protected, but many of these original structures were basically modified or torn down or built over. And a lot of these oldest photographs really are the only things I think that can give you a true nature of exactly how breathtaking this area was. So I'm just going to leave these photographs with you, and then at the end we're going to discuss a little bit more about Acoma, the Pueblo people, and how I believe that could tie into some other ancient structures that I've been talking about lately. And now these are the hand-cut stairs that were built into the side of Acoma. They are a little bit in disrepair. However, it is remarkable to note the craftsmanship that would go into constructing something like this, basically in the side of a small mountain. These are very advanced tunnels and cavernways that were also built into basically the mountainside. as well as the ancestral Acoma Pueblo homes, which they themselves, at least in my opinion, resemble a lot of the areas of the Middle East and different homes of that nature that we talk about and see all throughout ancient history. Now, some of these buildings, while being very ancient, are still advanced in construction. This one being made out of stone and what could be considered primitive brick, but it also has a facade on the outside and a bell or watchtower. And you'll find even older buildings in these first photographs of Acoma that seem to go along with the idea of being built directly into the rock. This, you can really hardly tell where the quote-unquote natural rock ends and the man-made construction begins. Most interesting part of the whole Acoma Pueblo construction is the idea that they hand carved these roads and passageways through this vast array of mountain. And you'll see that these roads and these passageways, they come with tunnels, but they also come with different monuments and the such that were constructed on the sides of the road. And it's just really fascinating to me the abilities that these groups had, especially in the Acoma Pueblo area. They basically built an elevated city, which to this day is still occupied, and to this day many of those same roads and passageways are still in use. So I just thought the Acoma people and their myth story and everything about them was something that I had not heard discussed before, and it was something that I wanted to share with you. So hopefully you found that interesting, and if you have any theories or anything that you wanted to discuss, please let me know in the comments